Hey guys, welcome back. As always, Jet Scott here, and I am very shaggy looking. Hopefully maybe get a haircut today. I don't know, but let me show you what we're working on. So, we got Jezebel's super tricks all mounted, balanced yesterday. Well, we got one of them actually, because turns out my super tricks are actually 15 by 12 and a half, which is freaking sweet. However, that's where your valve stem goes. They added that hole. So I've got to repair that because the guy at the tire shop did not want to risk, putting a patch over that or duct tape or anything like that. He's like, you got a welder, fix that right. So thank you again. Carl's Tire and Lube out in Scranton. Amazing job. Let me show you what we also did at the tire shop yesterday. Of course, Jezebel on her front super tricks that need new tires and tubes. I've got tires, just got to get tubes for them. They're in the shed. But I need my keystones back, and Dad finally found a set of keystones. However, we had to buy them brand new. So, Jegs to the rescue. We bought brand new keystones from Jegs. We got 245 60-15 tires the same height as the back 295s, but just wide enough that they should be perfect. So, that's my task for right now, is we are going to finally put Dad's keystones on his van, put mine back on Jezebel so that way it doesn't keep going flat. And yeah, so I'm going to set you guys up and we'll check this out. In fact, let's actually get a little view of the van before we swap the wheels and tires. And then once it has the bigger meats on front, it's going to change the whole attitude of this bad girl. That's 10 times better. That's like the perfect size wheels and tires for that. We're sunk in, but fairly close to the back. And we shouldn't have any rubbing issues like we did previously. Oh yes. Keystones on the van. Excellent. Dad's gonna be stoked when he gets home and he sees that. And I'm stoked because I get my keystones back. Oh, I've had these keystones for a long time. Those came from a really good friend of mine, my Mopar mentor, John Weiss, who unfortunately passed away a while back. I bought these and the rears on that are on Jezebel. First time I ever met him. I bought those from him. And they've been with me ever since, and they've been on that car ever since. So I'm gonna go get my super tricks off of Jezebel, put my keystones back on with my cheap Walmart tires. And Dad's got the cool Mickey Thompson tires. Oh, baby. Well, it looks like the van is still styling and profiling, looking dang good. And it took Jezebel's spot, because Jezebel was running and driving until yesterday. And, yeah, the ignition system died on us. Something, I don't know if it's the column or what, but I got to work on that today. But Dad is starting the intake swap. We are dumping the overweight, rather obtuse looking sister of the new hotness that's in the back. You can see the new hotness right there. Look at that. Oh yeah. We just gotta figure out what we're gonna do for a carburetor. So that's the plan. Ditch that thing. Thank you, Tall John, regardless. I just don't know why this thing, I mean, at least we'll know if this 360, if there's a problem with it, we'll know. I mean, it just runs so funky. I don't understand it. I really don't. It makes me start to question my whole ability of knowing anything about vehicles, especially carburetors, and that's not good, because I did those. So, Dad, what says you?
Ah! I say ah!
You say what?
I say ah!
Ah. So, I guess we're going to get to work, get the van going. And I apologize for being the way I am. This is what 4 a.m. staying up till 4 a.m. with Tall John talking about ignition issues looks like. It's rough. It's rough. So let's get to work. Alrighty, so the consensus is we've tried everything. We are just going to try another distributor, and by another distributor I mean we are going to a Mallory dual point that is a good distributor. Just gonna see how that works. And I absolutely refuse to give up my mechanical tech. I worked my ass off to be able to have all this stuff, so I got a whole box full of mechanical tacks and cables. And I'm gonna take the cable off of Dad's tack he bought up at Indy, because the Mallory uses the Mopar style end, which is a spade, or it's a round pin with a spud sticking up on the top. And then I got one of these tacks. It's got the correct small square. Modified my bracket that I made all these moons ago, and fit the tack in here that I'll put back up in there. Be able to run the cable back underneath the tunnel ram, and I'll mechanical tack. Dad's working on the distributor. We'll get this thing going. Hopefully we get this thing to fire, then we can get back to work on the van. Okay, so if you guys don't ever hear Jezebel in person, you'll understand I'm wearing his earmuffs because I need to be able to hear what's going on with the engine. That's a Mallory dual point Unilite distributor. So with the new distributor, we now have a different mechanical tack that actually reads good. So I let the car warm up so that way we can time it and get our timing back to about 34 degrees, which is where it may peak power on the dyno. And once it's warmed up, I can idle it. We're sitting at 1500 RPM, which actually sounds pretty happy right there. So now that this thing is running again with dual points, yet again electronic ignition, even the greatness of Excel VEI failed us. And actually, it was the freaking coil that died. That was my first thought yesterday when the car died, was coil probably went out. And yeah, yesterday was the maiden voyage. It's hilarious because the last time Dad and I took a cruise together, my clutch exploded. This time, the car went about 50 feet and the car shut off. So the coil's dead, and we've done everything. And that's running really hard with the dual points. As long as it doesn't cause an issue, we'll be fine. So now we're gonna get ready to work on L-Van. Alrighty, so there's my big pile of goodies. This, I actually don't know. The BEI was probably still fine, but I'm going to say this, that dual point Mallory is working really good in the sense that this car just fires right up. I mean, it's quite amazing. Let me just show you. Fires right up. And our tack reads way better than it used to. So I don't have my cool telltale like I used to, but I've just got the manual one I got to set, which I need to lock it in about 6,500. Yeah, I just took the thing around the block. I've got to go change my shorts because there's nothing left of those, just like these Nitto drag radials. These things have been on the car since we first put the car together, and just look at splitting, and there's like nothing left of these tires. And this is from the old deal where it used to come and smack the quarter. Now we got plenty of clearance with the narrowed rear end. And yeah, I need to get new tires. These are 325/50 15s. That's what I run on the street, so I got to get those replaced. But now this thing is running again, and it's got a simplified ignition that any caveman can understand. Oh, I'm happy. This thing isn't running, I'm in a funk. Or any car ain't running, I'm in a funk. So Jezebel is sorted. Thank Christ. Thank you, Dad. And thank you, Tall John and Rob and everybody who's been a part of trying to figure out what was wrong. It was the coil the entire time. And before anybody was like, well, I would have tested the coil first. Well, I did put another coil on there, and I guess it was dead too. So we marked the dead one. Probably need to actually put both those other coils on there and see if either of them work, and then mark those as dead. And maybe someday we'll put the BEI back on. I don't know. The BEI is just cool. So now we're gonna get, Dad's got the coolant drained out of the van. We're gonna start ripping this intake off, and then we'll get the new hotness on. That is totally not a Summit intake that we put a Jegs badge on. Hopefully it runs better with that. Alrighty, so I'm doing non-critical crap. Giving credit to companies that have parts on this car that I bought. Moroso valve covers, comp engineering, cage. We bought that from Jegs. Of course, the big pink Jegs decal. I like the pink Jegs. We got Hughes engines because that's where we buy our cams from and all that stuff. Hollow carburetors, and of course, Advanced Racing Engines in Salina, Kansas, who built Jezebel's 500-inch engine. Best machine shop in the whole state of Kansas. In fact, in my opinion, whole country. Not a better place to go to get an engine done. Alright, so Dad, on the van, he's got the boulder of an intake off, and he's vanished. Let's see what he's doing. He's not here. Yeah, he's not back there. So he's getting all this cleaned up again, and get ready to put that aluminum intake on and pick out a carburetor. Update time. What you doing, Dad?
Yeah, put a little silicone on.
There we go. Look at all that. The good stuff. The good stuff. We got Jezebel all stickered up. That side looks a lot better. Huh. Yeah, passenger side just doesn't look as cool. And little pink Jegs. Got those guys on there. That's an old Holly, and that's an old STP Indy 500. I got about 100 of those. So I figured I'd put one on here just for shits and giggles, and it looks cool. Alrighty, Jezebel, you're done for now. Full focus on L-Van. Thermostat housing's on. Intake bolts are just about done. Dad, what's that torque on those intake bolts?
I think about 35.
I thought it was more like tight.
Double up wrench, just barely pushing on.
Yeah. About half a turn before it snaps off.
Can't get a frickin' torque wrench down in there anyway.
Yeah. So, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Alrighty, well, carburetor from the boat. Viewer from, I think, California sent that to us. Do you remember David or something?
California.
I can't remember your name, man, but that was on the boat, and it's been a year or two ago. Also, Van drew blood. Ow.
Van didn't.
Yeah, your crappy freaking safety knife. That would have been just a bare razor blade. I wouldn't have cut myself. Since it's a safety knife, yeah, safety razor is the way to go. So, carburetor, everything clears good on it. Vacuum diaphragm works. It's still crappy vacuum, but it's carburetor we know how to work on. So,
Oh, it ain't got a choke on it either.
No, I don't have a choke either.
Ah.
So, yep, we'll get the fuel line hooked up. Dad's gonna get the vacuum tree hooked back onto there. I'm gonna spin it over once we get the fuel line hooked up because I want to make sure all the rockers are still moving, and we'll be pretty close. Says you did.
I reckon so.
Cool.
This deal's in the road.
Yeah, I didn't do it. All right, so now we got fuel hooked up. We're gonna crank it until we get fuel to the carburetor, make sure nothing leaks there, and then we're gonna watch the rockers and make sure they all move. You did.
Yep, these are all moving. Got any fuel? There's the old nasty yellow fuel coming out.
Yep, so now it'll be ready to fire. All right, get the valve covers on, coil, hook up the ignition back up, and ready to rock and roll. The time is nigh. We have throttle. The carburetor's now flooded, probably. That's all hooked up. That's a little spring. Valve covers are on.
Just a bracket back on.
Dad's got a bracky to put on. We are almost there. Says you did.
Look at there, They let that hold. They didn't put a place to mount the coil, but they put that little hole there to hold the frickin' transmission.
All right, batteries to power, Dad. Turbines to speed. Flame on.
Got the steerers hooked up. Coil wire. Coiling.
Oh, your little toggy switch.
Floats are perfect. Don't fuck with the floats. See them right at the bottom of the glass.
You can see the floats?
They are. They're fuel.
Yep. That's one nice thing about.
Uh-oh. Look here. We got an oil leak. Shut her down. I must have broke my oil pressure sender.
Uh-oh.
I knew I've been it.
Yeah, at least it's oiled down. Ain't gonna rust there. Okay. No pump, no nothing. That's how it's supposed to run. Oh, turn signal's on. So much better. 10 times better. So we're gonna let her warm up, see how she does.
We'll try her out. We're gonna try her out. Those deer driving old girl. Look at them new stones on the front. New stones. No stumbling. He's digging a hole in my rock. He's digging a hole in my rock. Safety first. Look at them big stones. Kind of makes you wonder what he's doing. Run into my service truck or run into a bulldozer, one or the other. Well, that baby's ready to go down the road. Hope he knows I only put 5 gallons of gas in it. Hope he ain't running out of gas. It's a little rich. A little black smoke. Little rig.
What a rig!
That's a rig.
That's a rig, all right.
Was it stumbling out there on the street or?
No, I gotta idle it up just a little bit more.
Sounds like I didn't know how much gas was left. Only put 5 in it.
True, it might be getting pretty low. So hop in there, Dad. Get her parked where you want her. Yeah. I dug a little hole. Yeah, you want to keep her right over there for now. You want to back it in or drive it in? Yeah. The one issue I had is I don't have great big feet, but the van does not give you a lot of room. Yeah, that needs to be idled up. Doesn't give you a lot of room between brake pedal and gas pedal. They're like right there. Yeah, I gotta idle that up a little bit. That's how it should run. That is so much better and so much cooler. We also got to make sure there's a gear lube in the rear end. We never have checked that. So we got Dookie going, and we got Jezebel fixed. And Dookie has its keystones on it. Oh yes, so much better. How you feel, Dad?
Huh?
How you feel?
Good.
Needs to be idled up just a touch, a tickle.
Yeah, we still need to check the timing, I think.
Yeah, we gotta do timing. That's true. Oh God, he's gonna hit Jezebel. Yeah, we gotta idle that girl up. You're good. Gotta blow that carbon out. Good deal, Dad. High five. Well, thanks as always, guys, for checking this one out. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye. Bye-bye.